What's happening, good people? Welcome to the channel. I'm Wes, aka Mr. Budget Watch, and today we're going to be taking a look at this Gavox P40. This was kindly provided to review by Gavox, but it does have to go back to them once the review has been completed. But anyway, before we get into that, we're going to do a quick wristwatch check. And I'm actually wearing my modified Seiko 7002. I'm not planning on doing a video on it, but if you guys want one, then let me know by leaving a comment and I'll do a little video on it. Not a review, mind, I'll just tell you like what I've done to the watch. If you're interested, let me know. So anyway, back to the Gavox. So let's talk specifications and then we'll get into more details about it. So this is a 40mm diameter watch. It has a lug-to-lug of 46.2mm. It has a standard 20mm lug width, which is always nice to see. It is 8mm thick, which is very slim. We have a mineral crystal. You can just see it right there. It is flat, so I think sapphire would definitely be a nice upgrade. So that's probably my first minor drawback. It's not a deal breaker, but sapphire would definitely be preferred at this price point. We have 50 meters of water resistance, a stainless steel case, a pop-off case pack, which again is another issue with me. I don't like them. I think it definitely should be a screw down one, in my opinion. We also have a signed push-pull crown, but more on that later. You also get a 2-year warranty with Gavox as well, so that is really nice. Now, if you're not familiar with Gavox as a brand, they're a micro brand based out of Belgium, and they've been going for about 10 years. They've just recently had their 10-year anniversary, which makes it one of the oldest micro brands in the industry. There's only a couple that were actually out before them, so to last 10 years, that has to say something about their watches and the company. So yeah, definitely, 10 years, I mean, that is a long time. I think, like I said, there's only a couple that have been around as long or slightly longer. So very impressed. So anyway, let's take a look at that design, and you can see it is a pilot style watch, and that is really noticeable by the handset and also the 12 o'clock marker with the little Flieger style dots and the batons. So starting at the outer edge, you can see we've got a really nice contrast, the minute track with 5-minute markings all the way around. You can see 5, 10, 15, etc. So we've got one at 5 minute. I have noticed as well that the alignment is a little skew on some of them. It's not actually dead center. You can't really pick it up on that, but I have had a look under a macro lens. But yeah, that is that. Really nice though, really crisp, really easy to read. The printing's really good, but like I said, some of them are just ever so slightly off. Moving in a little bit, again, we've got a secondary minute track with larger batons. We then have printed numerals at the 12, 3 and 9. At the 6 o'clock, you can see we have a small seconds complication with a nice radial pattern. You can just see it there. It's like a sunburst radial, and then the main dial is actually a matte black one. So it's a nice little difference of finishes there, and I think it creates a really nice effect. So to the handset, and you can see they are loom filled and white with the little black at the end, and like I said, they are loom filled and they're really nice. They're nice and sharp, nice and clean, very well done. So under the 12 o'clock, you can see the Gavox branding and Curtiss P40, because that is the model. So taking a look at the bezel, you can see this is a brushed bezel, which is always nice to see. I do like my brush surfaces, and this one is done to a very good standard. It's really nice and smooth. It's like a circular brushing as well, which follows the curvature of the bezel. Very nice. The tops of the lugs are also brushed as well, and it's very fine brushing, really nice and smooth. You can't feel it at all, so very impressed there. Then we get on to the side profile, and again, it is all brushed. Very good quality brushing, really nice and smooth. You can't feel it at all. There is a little bit of a lip there, just where the case ends. Just there, it's a little bit sharp, but I think that just creates a nice sharp line. You can just see, catching the light there, how nice and crisp and sharp that line is. The lugs are really nicely integrated as well. Really nice profile to this watch, very curvy with those sort of squarish lugs. So very nice look. It's definitely got a classic style look to it, and I think it's really nice. Onto this side now, and you can see we have a brushed and signed crown, which is always nice to see. Like I mentioned already, this is just a push-pull crown, so it's not screwed down. So all in all, design, very impressed, really like it. It's a very, very legible watch. Even though it's only a small diameter, the watch dial doesn't feel too crowded or too cramped, because you can still read everything with no problem whatsoever. Even with a small seconds complication, it still doesn't feel overly cramped, which is really, really good. So what I'm going to do now is pop this Nato off. I'm going to show you it actually on the Nato as well. In fact, I'll do that now before I take it off. So this is it on one of the supplied Natos. I don't know how many you actually get at retail. I'll pop it up on screen now. I'll actually ask Michael from Gavo how many straps you get with this watch, because he's actually bundled me a few different ones. So it usually comes on a canvas strap, but he's supplied me a few different ones, and this one is my favourite out of the bunch. So you can see it's branded there. It's brushed, got a really nice brushed stainless steel buckle, really nice quality Nato strap. You can see again it's branded just there. Really, really good quality Nato, very, very nice and smooth. So what I'm going to do now is pop it off this one, and I'm going to put it on a different one to show you what it looks like on that. Before we do that though, let's just take a look at that Caseback. So you can see it is a Japanese movement. This one is number 107 out of 250, I was told. So there's 250 ones of these and 250 of the other ones. You can just see there, number 107. So you can see the model number there, and then loads of other information around it. It's got a nice radial brushed design with the Gavo branding right in the centre. So this is a Nato that he sells on his website. This one doesn't come with the watch, I know that. But yeah, it's another really high quality Nato. You can see it's got stainless steel hardware, really nice quality feeling nylon. And I think it looks really nice with this watch as well. So you've got the black, orange, silver, and then that pop of orange. So I think it looks really cool on this strap actually. I still prefer this one though. I think it looks nicer on this one. But yeah, you know, if you want a little bit of pop for summer, that's definitely a good choice. So what I'm going to do now is pop it on the other straps that he supplied as well. So one moment. Right guys, so here it is on the standard canvas strap. So you can see we've got it little bolstered with leather there. And we've got some leather keepers. Nice branded buckle. And we've got a soft leather inner. You can see it's branded. So this is one of my favourite straps. This is actually the one that it comes on. This is the one that you actually buy the watch with. If you go for this one, there is a few different other variants as well. But yeah, I'm really a fan of this strap. It's very, very nice and comfortable. Wears really nicely. So yeah, definitely like it on this one. So there's just a full look at it on the canvas strap. No quick release though, which is a little bit of a shame. It did also send me a leather strap as well, but I don't know where I've put that. That is somewhere else. I'll see if I can find it and maybe snap a picture with it on. But anyway, that is the nice canvas one. Right guys, so now we're going to talk about in use and using this watch on a daily basis, and it is actually a very straightforward and simple watch to use. Because there is no date complication, it is just one pull of the crown and you can adjust your time. The crown is a little bit small, but there is a little recess at the back. You can just see right there, so you can actually get your finger in to pull the crown out and use it. In use, it's pretty good. The movement is nice and smooth. So yeah, I've got no complaints there. The crown feels nice as well, even though it is a little bit on the small side. So you guys with the bigger fingers might struggle to use this one, unfortunately, because the crown is very, very small. So I think a bigger crown might have been welcomed. But yeah, really, really nice. It's smooth movement, smooth feeling crown, no great feedback or anything like that. So very, very impressed. So what I'm going to do now is pop it on wrist with the canvas strap, because this is the one the watch actually comes with, and I think it looks really nice. So anyway, I'm going to pop it on wrist and show you what it wears like. Right guys, so here is the P40 on my slim 6-inch wrist, and you know, the 46.2 lug to lug, you know, is about just nice for my wrist size, which again is 6 inches. So if you've got a 5.5-inch wrist, I think this would probably just fit quite nicely on yours as well. If you've got bigger wrists, then it might look a touch small on your wrist, but that 40mm diameter might make up for that. So you know, it depends. If you've got about a 6.5-inch wrist, I'd say that would be probably about bang on size for you guys. 7-inch, I'd say it would still fit pretty nicely. As for comfort, you know, the watch is really nice and comfortable. It's lightweight as well. It's not over heavy, this watch, especially on this supplied canvas strap. So you've got no complaints there. Let's take a quick look at that profile. You can see it is relatively flat, so we do get a little bit of a gap on my wrist, but it does actually fit nice and secure on my wrist. Again, you know, we get right at the end of my wrist, so you know, it does actually fit really nice. No lug overhang, which means it's comfortable. The lugs also bring the strap down reasonably nicely as well. This canvas strap though is a little bit rigid. I think it definitely needs a couple of months to break in properly. I've only had, you know, just over a week with it, and it's got to go back. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit more rigid than I'd like initially, but it probably will soften and break the more you wear it. You can also see I do have a little bit of a gap as well, and I'm on the last adjustment hole. So if you have slimmer wrists than myself, then you may want to opt for a third-party one, or one from Gavo. Get one of their straps. One of the Natos would probably more likely fit you better. But yeah, very, very nice and comfortable. It's definitely more comfortable on a Nato strap than it is this canvas one. Right guys, so now to the loom, and you know what, it's pretty good. We've got loomed indices, we've got loomed hands, and the 3, 12 and 9 are loomed as well. So we do have some nice loom on this watch, and it gets pretty bright. It lasts a good amount of time. It's really nice and clean looking loom as well. The application is really nice and neat. It's don't look all hapdash and sloppy, so it's very, very nicely done application of the loom. I think it obviously could have been a little bit more generous and a little bit brighter, to be honest, but it is really, really good. It lasts a fair amount of time. Definitely not all night though, but it does get bright. It does last a good amount of time, and I think the compound they've used is pretty good, but I think they could have done with just a smidge more on the application. So now we get on to the movement, and as we've seen already, this is a small seconds quartz, and it is the Seiko VD75. It uses a 377 cell battery. It has 0 joules, a up to 3-year battery life, and it is plus to minus negative 30 seconds per month. So it is a good accurate movement. It's not the most accurate quartz I've ever come across, but it is still very, very accurate, and it is actually keeping time really well. I usually check it against my phone, and it's keeping with it absolutely perfectly fine. Like I mentioned already, in use the movement is really nice and smooth. No gritty feedback, no horrible thingy to it. It adjusts the time really quickly, so I've got no complaints about the movement at all, and it is actually a decently priced movement as well. It's not a cheap quartz. It's actually a pretty decently priced one, which is always nice to see, that it's not one of those like $2, $3 quartzes. It's definitely a lot more expensive and premium than that, which is really nice to see. Now we get on to the verdict. What do I think of this watch? Well, currently it's priced at $231, which is 190 euros and 166 pounds, and I think that is a fair price. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's the deal of the century, but I think it's a very fair price for what you're getting. Like I said, the quartz is good quality, and it's not a cheap, nasty, rubbish quartz. It's not on anything like that. It's a good quality Seiko quartz movement. So yeah, definitely that is a good portion of it there. I think the build quality is really nice and solid. I think the dial is really nicely done. It's very, very nice and comfortable, especially if you pair it with a Nato strap. The finishing's good, the build quality is good, the crown feels good, the loom is good. Everything about this watch is good. Is it worth £166? I think, like I said, it's a fair price. I would like to see this down at perhaps £140. I think that would be an absolute sweet spot for this watch, because you know, you're getting quite a fair amount for your money, and obviously what you get with the watch as well will up that factor. So if you get a couple more straps, a springboard tool and stuff like that, which again I'll have mentioned earlier in the review, because I don't actually know, I forgot to ask before I filmed, which is my fault. But anyway, so it's definitely a good package, and even without all the goodies, it's still a very, very good watch. But yeah, it could be just a smidge cheaper in my opinion. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And of course, follow me on social media at Mr. Budget Watch. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.